I'm looking at this, and I see one of the most popular games ever made. Everyone knows about Nier. And you're looking at this character, right? Like, it's absolutely weird. It's weird, and you get to play with the girl, and you get to see those fat android ass cheeks just wobbling as she's running around, an amazing soundtrack. And you gotta wonder, like, what type of person would make this type of game? And the answer is a weirdo. Like your serious father, with his stoic expression. He wouldn't make this. Right? Like, normal people do not make this. Normal people, however, require this for entertainment. After a hard day at work, after dealing with nonsense from your family, in order for people not to get into the mental asylum, they have to unwind. They have to get some escapism. They have to play something weird in order to chill the fuck out. But again, like, only weird people can create this shit, right? And unfortunately, you have the creator of Nier Automata saying that there are less weird people in the gaming industry nowadays. And you start to understand that this is the problem. In fact, like, there has been a crusade in Western nations to get rid of weird people. Like, the moment someone says something edgy on social media, they're considered weird. And so they have to be purged. I remember during the Kamala Harris campaign. You guys remember that? It's like, JD Vance is weird. Like, right-wingers are weird. In other words, if you're not conforming to the standard of normality, then you're weird, and we have no place in society for weirdness. It's not big enough. Like, society is not big enough to allow for weirdness to exist. And I think, like, this is the mentality that they applied in the entertainment industry. And unfortunately, like, normality is boring, because normality is not supposed to be entertaining. Like, normality is supposed to be go at your job and be productive, right? But in order for people to do that, they have to get some downtime. They have to have some hobbies. They have to do something else for a couple of hours a day in order to recharge their batteries. And unfortunately, as I mentioned before, the video game industry, the movie industry, the TV show industry, like, all of this has gotten rid of weird people. And here you have the creator of Drakengard and Nier, Yoko Taro, which is basically saying that even in Japan, he's looking around and he is noticing that the industry has less weird people than ever before. I've been a part of the game industry for 30 years. 3 decades, chat. But I feel there's less weird people now. I don't know if this is something simply happening in my field of view, if the game industry ended up like this, or if the whole world is like this now. Yeah, I think, like, with social media, people have an obsession of not appearing weird. Everyone has some weirdness, okay? Like, if you don't have some weirdness, you're not a human being, you're a robot. But most people, they have an aspect of weirdness, and the entire social media, it went from rage comics, where people would share their weirdness, and they would be like, is there anyone else like me? And they would find out, like, no, dude, you're normal. Like, okay, just keep it to yourself, And it went from that to a complete suppression. Like, everyone is afraid of saying anything controversial, because then, they get placed on an internet archive, and it's there forever, and 5 years down the line, it can get them fired. Everyone is scared of saying something edgy, of saying something funny, even if it's true. Because, like, at the end of the day, the image of the person is more important than their actions. And so, I do think it's something that's happening in the whole world. I don't think that it's something that only Mr. Yoko is noticing. However, there are nations that aren't as obsessed with this. At least not in the entertainment industry. And this is why we see South Korea now dominating with Stellar Blade, with Nikkei, and with other products. It's starting to happen in China. I don't know why, but like Wukong, Path of Exile, like there's many other games that have creative people. I already made a live stream on my other channel where I talked to a Blizzard professional that worked in the industry and at the company. And he explained exactly that. Like, if you were weird, the company would sideline you. Like, there wasn't a specific demand for people to stop being weird. But like, if you didn't comply with the company policies, which were very corporate, very sanitized, if you kept drawing big fat titties on night elves, or apparently like a colleague of his, a girl that had rogues do it from behind, and she had massive titties, like she got in trouble with HR. Like, no weirdness allowed. Which again, it depends on a case to case basis. Like, yeah, if you're a car salesman, or if you're a car manufacturer, sure, you don't want weirdness there. Like, you want people that look professional. But in the creative scene, in the creative arts, in the video game industry, like, you need weirdness. Otherwise, you get cookie cutter games, you get staleness, you get boring and bland designs that are corporate friendly. Yoko Taro has also previously suggested that creators who go against the mainstream are the ones who make epochs. And he always emphasizes the importance of being different and going against what everyone else in the industry is doing. This is also something that I found interesting. I'm thinking like companies like Ubisoft or companies like Blizzard. Like, they usually invest $200, $300 million in a video game, and they put all their eggs in one basket. And usually if that game fails, then they lose all that money. And I never understood, it's like, instead of making a $300 million game, why don't you make like 20 or 30 smaller games? And out of those 20 and 30 that are very different, like, see what works, see what sticks, and continue with that, And I think like the answer finally occurred to me is that they're obsessed with public image. Like they need to micromanage every single character design, every single line of dialogue, every single implication in a video game, and they simply like do not have. Like, it's a lot easier for them to have like consultants for one title that's like $200 or $300 million than to have like multiple consultants for 20 or 30 titles. And I think like this is what's actually happening. They are gimping themselves from success. He talks about Stellar Blade. He talks about Nikkei. Our concept is always to do something that's not like anything else. If Western sci-fi is filled with Marine-like soldiers, we might go in the opposite direction and use gothic Lolita outfits. We tend to take the Contrarian route. I mean, just by saying gothic Lolita, like, a couple of Western heads exploded. Right? But like, the question is like, when you make a company and you have a team of people, is your job to provide to those people money so that they can put food on the table? Or is your job to please the people whose heads would explode anyway, regardless? Like, there are people born on planet Earth with the single purpose of finding a reason for their heads exploding. And if you constantly bow down to them, and you constantly try to be normal so that you live in their sensitivities, then congratulations, you're going to go broke. Those people are going to be affected, they're not purchasing your product anyway. So the conclusion of the journalist is that if what Yoko said in his X post is true, and there are actually less weird people who would challenge the norms and create games which go against the expectations and demands of the market, what's that mean for the gaming industry? Yoko has already shared some of his predictions on the future of the gaming industry, saying that game developers probably won't be able to make a living in the future if AI takes over. And that is around 50 years. They will be treated like bards. However, he advises his fans to take all of the predictions with a grain of salt. Yeah, like the thing with AI, people act like it's going to be the end of the world. It's really bad right now for a lot of creators. But take into account that AI is not profitable. Like, what I mean by this, a lot of people don't understand, like, ChatGPT is not making enough money to be sustainable out of subscriptions. Like, ChatGPT is making money out of investors. But once the investment money runs up and the investors require to see the results, unless ChatGPT finds a way, it's not sustainable. Like, it costs more to operate the servers than it costs to actually, that people actually pay in. So unless they fix that in the future, then chances are that creators may be safe. Still, I do think that all in all, AI is going to be like a tool. Like, instead of hiring 100 artists, you may hire 10. It's not good, for the people that are in these jobs. But I think this is what it's like when technology catches up. Like, what can you do? Still, I don't think it's going to be the case where you can code your own game. You know, like you type in the AI the type of game you want to play, and then the AI just creates your game. Maybe one day, but I don't think we're going to be alive when that happens. So like game developers are still safe until that time. Let me know what you guys think. And as usual, I will see you on my live stream. Take care.